guys, Anna here. Welcome to today's video. So we are in San Myshuno, which is the world that came with the City Living expansion pack. And today we are building our final collaboration build for this week. And it is for Pioneer Girl. Now, Pioneer Girl is a really wonderful person. She is definitely a member of the community who always includes everybody, and she goes out of her way to really brighten people's days. She always does these morning shout outs, and I think she's just such a pillar of the community, and we all appreciate her so much. And she gave me a challenge today, guys. So this is a house for 1 sim and 6 pets, but the budget is 110,000 simoleons. So a massive budget, very small household in terms of sims. But she also told me that this sim is a writer. So automatically my brain is leading towards modern, contemporary. We are here in San Myshuno. So she confirmed for me that she wanted a house as opposed to an apartment. So that was an important question to ask because of the world. So basically the concept was I had this idea of kind of like a towered modern building. When I look at the neighboring buildings here in San Myshuno, they're all brick, and I decided to make kind of like a modern brick house that was pretty much open plan. This is a 2-bedroom house, but because the sim is a writer, the actual 2nd bedroom is a study. If you were to download this house, all the builds from this week will be onto the gallery. My gallery ID is posted below. You could make this a bedroom if you wanted. The master bedroom in this home is pretty big, so if you wanted to, you could essentially rework the floor plan slightly, and you could easily add another bedroom. It wouldn't be difficult. Alrighty, so let's get into the build. So we have done the floor plan, and now we are just working on some extra windows, and we are working on the inside. So I went with kind of a mid-tone brown flooring, and I kind of based everything off of more of a neutral color scheme, so with beige, gray, black, but I did use a pop of color. So inside, colors like gold and red, orange and pink were really well used, and this living room that you'll see in a minute was decorated so beautifully. So with the budget, so the budget actually being 110k. So the 2 other builds that we did this week were really small budgets. You had a 25k home and you had a 15k home, and now we've got a lot of money but kind of less sims that were compared to the other homes. So it's really interesting how all of my friends are very much giving me challenges but in different ways. And I was in debug for City Living, and I found these stairs that they must be apartment stairs. I don't believe they're functional, but I loved how they looked on side of this building. I thought it made it look really, really smart, because it actually isn't a very big home. So it's kind of like a average size home on a fairly decent lot. And that's because there really is only one lot you can build on that's in San Myshuno. So we are working on the landscaping now. I love the landscaping of this build. So the landscaping of this build is what took me the longest. But it's beautiful. So how it's sectioned off is you've obviously got this driveway with the car over that kind of focal piece that I've done with platforms. In my platforms, how to do video, I do explain how I do that trick. So if you're interested, go find that video. And then the main kind of landscaping is this side yard. So we put garden beds in and around pathing that then trails down to the back, and then you'll see it. There's a beautiful big entertainment space. And because there are pets, I wanted to do sections for pets. So inside there's some cat trees and some scratching posts. And then for the dogs, because there are 3 dogs in this home, they actually have a lounging section in the backyard under a very big, I think it's an oak tree. Yeah, it might be an oak tree, and it's beautiful. And I found these hedging pieces, and I thought this was obviously very time consuming, individually placing and alt placing these, but it really helped. It was able for me to line that section without using fencing. And then I've gone into the fencing and wrapped it around the tree. As you can see here, I'm just doing that here. And it's just beautiful. I really loved how this turned out. So this is where I start to create that side yard. In a minute, you'll see where we just wrap around and we kind of position the pathing around the plants, and it creates like a zigzag path, and that wraps around to the back, because as you guys know, I like to join the front to the back. And I just think this house is so beautiful. To me, it's a build that looks like it would be a 2 to a 3 bedroom home, but it's actually only 2 bedrooms, and one of them is a study. So it's kind of a very deceptive build, and I think it turned out that way due to the budget. You know, I had so much money to play with, so I didn't really have a problem with money. In fact, when I got to the end, I actually had an issue because I needed to spend more money, but then not too much money. It's very interesting. So yeah, so we are just putting around our smooth keeper fencing, just sectioning off all those pathways, and just really neatening everything. And I think like in a modern build, this is very applicable, where that precision matters. That precision is what makes this house. Like, this landscaping is so pretty. And then when you look around in San Myshuno, it's very kind of intentional, all of the plants and the landscaping. It's very minimal, but it's intentional. Like it's not like Willow Creek where it's a bit more sporadic. It's more, intentional. We do just use, I believe, a couple of flowers, a lot of hydrangeas, a lot of lay-lowing flowers. I've been loving hydrangeas lately. I use them in like every build, I feel. But this was a build where, as I said, I usually do my modern builds where I want to have that kind of, I want landscaping that is complementary to the building itself. So that light hydrangea and how it interacts with the dark brown chocolatey brick colors, the black doors and windows. I really love that. I love how that it works. And then these pink flowers, because these were actually in the surrounding, so I thought it'd be good to incorporate those. So I put a couple of those in, and some lay-lowing flowers. And yeah, we just it was really good to do this build because I don't actually use a lot of city living. So I got to use a lot of city living in this build, and I actually realized it's such a good pack. There's so many pieces in this home, which we'll get to, and like I think they will become my staple pieces. I love them. Some wall decor that was really pretty. We'll see that in a minute. So yeah, this landscaping took me the longest. I really, really wanted to like sell this build. And I think I've done that with all of my builds this week, actually, where the landscaping has just become so important in terms of, especially with the cheaper builds, I wanted to really, make that budget work for me. And I didn't want to give you a really cheap house, but it not look as good. But this one, I was kind of an opposite kind of conundrum. It was like, well, now I have no excuse because I have so much money. So yeah, and that's where I think when we got inside of the decorating, I definitely felt it was easier to spend more money than it was to spend less. So in some terms, in some ways, I would say this was the easiest build of the week. But on the other hand, I would say it was really hard. And I think it was really hard because you've only got one sim. And when you only have one sim and they're a writer and they've got the pets, if someone's got 6 pets, it's not likely that they're going to have children. It's not likely that, they may get married. You've got another one sim that you can have in that household, but it wouldn't be likely for them to go and have children. So there's no point me putting in a nursery. There's no point me putting in children's room or kind of things like that, because this is not going to be a sim that's going to do that. And that's why having a storyline was so important when I was asking my friends, what would you like to see? What is that stipulation? What is that restriction? Because that helps me in building, For this build, I knew that a study was absolutely paramount, because if you're a writer, you need an office. You need to be able to work from home, for example. You need a place to write. So an office was really important. So I still knew I could do 2 bedrooms. I could, if I wanted to, have made this a larger home. I mean, just the house itself, not the lot or anything. And then maybe done a guest bedroom. But I don't know. I did a really nice entertainment space, which I think is really applicable for like modern homes. But I really stand by the 2 bedrooms in this home. I think it was important. All right, so now we move inside, and I definitely wanted to use pretty much anything from City Living. So I loved this orchid piece, that orchid piece, that I think it's a coffee table, that rug, the gold. That's where the gold started to come in, and mixing the gold with the red, with the blacks and the whites and the browns. That is the tone of this whole build. In some areas, I think it started very minimalistic, but then it moved really cluttered. And that was towards the end because I had, all of that. I had some money that I had to spend and what have you. Because I think when I build, I'm the type of builder that I don't really care for the budget, but I don't spend, I spend responsibly. I spend smartly. I don't just spend for the sake of spending unless it fits the vibe or the aesthetic. So if I was building a wealthy Sims house, yes, of course, I'm going to use, the most expensive appliances. I'm going to do that. But if I was building a family home, even if it was a large family home, I'm not going to go and buy I think it's a $13,000 stove. I wouldn't spend that. No. So that's what I mean by I don't really build for a budget, but I build smartly. So this build was actually quite interesting because I had full range to spend a lot of money and what have you, but I kind of did show restraint in the beginning, because this was the type of build where I kind of forgot I had a budget restriction. Because I knew that it was such a big budget, I was like, oh yeah, I can check it out. See, I haven't even got the top menu up, which I had in the other builds, and that's how you know I wasn't really watching it. But I did check it after, because I build in segments, so I was checking it religiously, just making sure that we were tracking okay. This kitchen is beautiful. So I really loved this wraparound kitchen. I thought it made so much sense to leave a gap between the window and the counter on that left side, because I just really love how the light comes in. And I was actually able to put a pet bowl next to that plant, and I thought that was really smart. We do put more than one pet bowl because there are 6 pets in this home. There's a lot of pets. But yeah, no, I just really loved this kitchen. We do end up actually putting a brick accent wall, and it's a darker brick. It's not the brick that's from the outside, which I could have done, and I was considering it, but I really wanted to play with the blacks and the grays inside and keep the brown towards the outside. We do change this shelving. In the end, I just use the immaculate shelves in like a kind of golden kind of beige tone, and I keep that golden beige tone through the whole house. This immaculate shelf here. And the reason I do that is because, as you can see, I've got that kind of, is it a leopard? That tiger print, zebra print, that gold print rug. I'm obsessed with that. And we use a lot of golds in this build. So just squeezing in the pat bowl here. And I really thought it was sweet how the light comes in and it's not blocked by the counters. The pops of reds by the stools, we do change those stools, so they're not the final bar stools. But yeah, this corner screamed cat tree. So I know it's kind of like as you enter the house, but there wasn't a whole lot of room for such a big item like that, and I wanted to have one because there's 3 cats in this home. Like, you need to have some. And then I totally forgot to put doors. I forgot to put doors in all my rooms, so I quickly move everything over and put the bathroom door there. So the bathroom is as you enter the build, which is not great, but it'll do. It's a very small bathroom, but it's only technically for one sim. So it's got the basics, it's got the necessities. And I always think that these glass doors are quite interesting to have in homes because you can see through them, obviously. But it fits the aesthetic, it fits it so nicely. We do put a lot of pet beds around the home. Again, there are more pets than there are humans, so they definitely have spaces. And this was the part of the build where this downstairs came together. So I love these vertical paneling. If you're avid Anna watcher, you'll know about these panels, and they just have this gold swatch, and I was obsessed. It absolutely ties it all together, and I think it makes that staircase really pop, and it's where your eyes go. And I just really love that kind of sense of division that it also gives as well. It kind of separates that entryway from that living room. The kitchen kind of does that itself with the way that the counters are shaped. It's in that kind of U shape, but I really think I nailed that living room. I really do believe, just, tooting my own horn there, but I really love it. I really love those draped curtains. I believe we put some here in the kitchen as well. I'm just adding some more pieces. So we are at like 60K and we're not upset. So we've, we were sitting pretty well. And I think I wouldn't say that anything is poorly decorated. But I definitely needed to spend a little bit more money. Now, I wish these curtains were just a little bit longer. I did have to use the 9 key to raise them up because they were playing around a little bit with me, but we got there in the end. I put a gaming console. I don't really know if a writer would need that, but I thought, if they have friends over, what have you, that would be, quite fun. Now, I use that cats and dogs painting only because, it's a household with 6 pets. So this was a build where I could use City Living base game cats and dogs because of the pets that were mentioned in this. Now, I found this light kind of wall decor piece. I'm obsessed with this, and this is what I mean by City Living is something that like a pack that I've slept on, because so many of these items I've never used before, and I really loved how that lighting wall panel went. Okay, so we are about to enter my favorite room in the whole house, this study. I am obsessed with what I was able to create in here. I really loved having that glass golden desk on a diagonal with a nice little focal plant in the corner, the furry rugs that are wonderful from City Living, that red chair. All of these colors are literally what is shown downstairs. We've just brought it all upstairs. So we do some shelving, and we've got, this room is very small. It's just a very small square. I would normally do a bathroom in this type of size. But we were able to use a lot of vertical spacing to really kind of layer and stack and really clutter this room in a way. I am obsessed with that kind of seashell chair. I used it in the study. I also use it in the outdoor section. You'll see that soon. I love this gold swatch and this kind of, I don't know what it is. It's like a crystal light wall, like a wall light, hanging wall light. Obsessed. Like it just adds so many cool things that kind of make this home look so contemporary and so modern. And we put some books in this space, but there is also a bookshelf. I think we do get rid of that snake plant. I don't think I like it sized up. But yeah, I also put a, what is it called? A camera. They are a writer, but I thought maybe that would kind of play on that a little bit. But yeah, that office is my favorite room in the house. So now we're moving into the master bedroom. And this is where we kind of say a little bit of a, we're going to go with color. So we're pulling away from those neutrals now. And now we are like, it's just an explosion of color, all those, but it's on the back of those golden tones, those golden yellow warm tones. And this rug interacting with those chairs really sold me. That kind of teal color. I just ran with it. I'm obsessed with that color. I really love how it interacts with the orange. And I do that a lot where I'll have a double bed and I'll match the side tables, with the color of the cushions. So I've gone with orange as opposed to teal or white. And that really kind of makes it cohesive. We've brought these kind of crystal light objects again in the gold, just to bring in a bit more of that gold. I thought that tall kind of seating lounge was really good because I thought maybe the pets could sit on there. That's their like little space. And now we're just doing some alt placing. I thought the pets little sculpture was very important. There's dogs and cats in this build, just anything to add that personality. We do a double mirror here. Again, just like the colors and the textures. This brass wall decor piece I think this was the part of the build where I was trying to spend that last bit of money, and I just think things like that in the bedrooms really sold it. So this is the balcony area. We do put one of those cats and dogs bay window seats and just a chessboard. I thought it was smart. As I said, I put skill building in regardless whether I feel it meets the brief. I think it's important. This is that dog's lounge section. So got some pet beds with some toys under a tree. It's so cute. I thought it was really sweet. I thought, why not? And then we have the entertainment area. So we are now outside and we've just got a barbecue section, a dining. You guys know I'm obsessed with these City Living chairs. I love how black they are. I've said this in a previous build. And yeah, just absolutely cluttering the space. So we are not far off. We are about 15K off, I believe. And I think at this point, yeah, we're just changing the bar stools. Yep, I went with those because they were the shape of them was pretty good, but obviously the red was perfect. I forget to put railings on the stairs, so we've gone and done that. Again, at this point, I'm grasping at straws. So put some gardening stuff in there. Again, not that this sim would be into that, but I thought maybe, I don't know. We put a fountain because it was 900 simoleons and I needed to waste some money. And then the seashell chairs in the black with like a kind of like a buffet table with some lights. And then we put the expensive fridge. So the bit that I cut out because this build was so long was me deleting and adding. But we are now in the tour. So if you do see something I didn't show you, that would have been something I potentially added or removed. But yes, this is the downstairs. We've got the litter box there. That's really important. And it's one that you don't have to change. If you're going to have 3 cats, you might as well. I also added a debug coffee mug in the office. I thought that was genius. And then, yeah, this beautiful bedroom. Absolutely love this space. Put an extra rug outside. To bring in more of that gold. And yeah, so this is the build, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video and I hope you enjoyed this week. So in 2 weeks' time, we will be doing another lot of simmer collabs, which are based on the same kind of concept. And yeah, so a lot more builds to come. And Pioneer Girl, I know if you are watching, I'm sure you are. Comment down below your thoughts of the home. And I just want to say thank you so much for collabing with me today. And I hope you have a wonderful day. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.